Bonjour, hello everybody. I'd like to share a perspective about the value of oral history in studying and understanding Native American history and culture. A lot of times oral history has been dismissed as invalid, and the example often used is if you whisper something in someone's ear and they whisper it to somebody else and you go around a circle, it comes out so distorted that you can't even tell what the original message was. And this is often used as an analogy to say oral history is not valid because it's passed down orally through generations and it gets distorted in the very same way. But I really have a very different view about the value and merit of oral history. First of all, oral histories, and especially legends as told in ceremonies and things like that, they're not shared by whispering in someone's ear. They're shared in a public setting. And those stories are told repeatedly, many tellings of the same story with the same audience. If somebody distorts something, omits an important detail, the other tellings will correct the record. And so actually oral history is extremely reliable and valuable in many other ways too. Not only is it more reliable than a lot of people have assumed, but it offers some of our best evidence and perspectives of what Native people were thinking at the time. So for example, there was a guy named William Warren who was doing oral history work in the middle of the 1800s in the Ojibwe language, and he captured firsthand accounts of what people experienced in important battles between Ojibwe and Dakota people, important perspectives on history and historical developments, and there's no way that an anthropologist or a classical historian would have been able to document things if there wasn't a value placed on oral history. It also helps us get Native voices, because it does matter like what the white army officer is writing in his journal, but that's not the only thing that matters. And really that kind of historical information is a history of white folk when they met natives rather than Native history. So oral history has tremendous value. It's been a little disheartening that sometimes it has not been seen as extremely valuable by people in the profession. And sometimes has just been a skewed perspective, but I do think that is shifting and changing. I remember when I was pursuing my PhD in history at the University of Minnesota, one of my assigned advisors told me, oral history is not that reliable, and you really shouldn't do history on Ojibwe people at all because you're Ojibwe and you'll have an inherent bias. And I was thinking, what? Is this coming from a white man who wrote 20 books about white males? Why is that association okay for some groups and not others? I do think that's more of a kind of old school way of looking at things, and we are seeing so many different people working in different types of work that we're starting to shake that up, but it does take effort. And I think really, showing people a different way to do history. In my own work, some of the books that I've published, like Warrior Nation, A History of the Red Lake Ojibwe, or The Assassination of Hole in the Day, I've tried to get the archives and the natives speaking to one another. And I've done that by looking at oral history and also looking at the archives and seeing what each have to say. I remember, for example, when I was researching for the book, The Assassination of Hole in the Day, there was this really pivotal event when in 1862, there was a major war going on in southern Minnesota. And while that was happening, I'm going to pause and pick it up. And during the U.S.-Dakota War in 1862, Hole in the Day, who was one of the preeminent Ojibwe chiefs, was threatening to attack Fort Ripley in central Minnesota. When that happened, there were warriors who came from Mille Lacs, and they surrounded the fort, not to attack, but to protect it from other Ojibwe people. Now, all of that we know from the archival record, what the Army officer was writing in his journal and things like that. But what we didn't know was the most important question, which is why? And we were able to get some answers to that question through oral history. For example, I was quite close with a gentleman named Melvin Eagle, and I was interviewing him about this history, and he told me, well, I'll tell you why. That was my grandfather that went over there, who brought the Mille Lacs warriors to protect the fort. And these are the reasons that he had. I know this because my grandfather told my father, who told me. And so this oral history, working with the archival history, helped shed a whole new perspective and nuance to the information that we were trying to put together for that particular book. And that's just one example among many. And when we look at Native stories about, origin, migration, major historical developments, oftentimes oral history is some of the best that we have to understand Native people. Miigwech.